This episode is presented to you in the form of an audiobook. The lights are dim, the air feels thick, and your hands are clammy as you wait to be called into the room. Your heart pounds like a drum, echoing in your chest, and your mind spirals out of control. What if I stumble over my words? What if they think I'm not good enough? What if I fail? You've spent days preparing for this, practicing answers, rehearsing in front of the mirror, but in this moment, it feels like none of that matters. Fear has taken over, leaving you frozen in your seat, questioning everything you thought you were ready for. We've all been there. Fear doesn't discriminate. It creeps in when you're about to step outside your comfort zone. Maybe it's walking into a big job interview, starting your own business, moving to a new city, or even just raising your hand in a meeting. That little voice inside whispers, "What if you fail?" And just like that, fear convinces you to hold back. But here's the thing, fear doesn't have to control your life. It doesn't have to stop you from taking the next step. What if instead, you could use fear as a signal that you're about to grow, as a stepping stone rather than a roadblock? In this video, we'll uncover 5 powerful strategies that can help you face your fears, quiet self-doubt, and take bold steps toward the life you want. These transformative lessons will show you how to shift your mindset, embrace challenges, and turn fear into a tool for growth and progress. By the end, you'll understand why fear shows up and, more importantly, how to face it head on. Whether it's public speaking, starting a new project, or stepping into the unknown, this is your roadmap to turning fear into your greatest ally. Picture this. You're standing on the edge of a diving board, looking down at the water below. Your toes grip the edge, and your mind is racing with every what if imaginable. What if I can't swim? What if I embarrass myself? What if I hit the water wrong? The longer you stand there, the bigger those fears grow, and the further away the water seems. This is what fear does. It magnifies the unknown and distorts reality. It convinces you to stay on the edge where it feels safe. But here's the thing. Fear isn't a sign that you're weak or incapable. It's a signal that you're about to step into something important. Fear is like a beacon, shining a light on moments of potential growth. Think about the times fear has shown up in your life. Was it before a job interview, a big decision, or sharing an idea in front of others? Fear always comes when the stakes feel high. Most people see this as a problem. They avoid it, suppress it, or wait for it to magically go away. But fear doesn't disappear. In fact, the more you avoid it, the louder it gets, like a drum beat in the background of your mind. Let me tell you about Marcus, a young entrepreneur who dreamed of pitching his business idea to investors. The idea was solid, but every time he thought about presenting, fear would kick in. What if they reject me? What if they ask something I can't answer? What if I fail? Months went by and he kept avoiding opportunities to pitch, convincing himself he wasn't ready. One day, he realized something. The fear wasn't going to vanish on its own. He decided to take the leap, and though his first pitch wasn't perfect, it led to valuable feedback and eventually his first round of funding. Fear doesn't mean you're not ready. It means you're stepping into the unknown, a space where growth happens. Avoiding it only makes it harder to move forward. Here's something surprising. Fear doesn't go away with success. Instead, it evolves. Imagine an athlete stepping onto the field for their first professional game. They're nervous, unsure if they belong. Fast forward a few years and they're a seasoned player. Do they still feel fear? Absolutely. But now it's a different kind. It's the fear of losing their edge, of maintaining their reputation. Fear evolves alongside you. A beginner fears trying, but a professional fears staying relevant. The goal isn't to eliminate fear, it's to learn to work with it. Fear is like an uninvited guest at the table. You don't have to let it run the show, but you also don't have to kick it out. Fear is like fog. It obscures your vision and makes the path ahead look uncertain. But as you take steps forward, the fog begins to lift, and the path becomes clearer. Many people believe they need to feel confident before taking action. I'll speak up in the meeting when I feel ready. I'll start the business when I know I can succeed. But waiting for confidence is like waiting for the perfect weather to go on a hike. It rarely comes. Here's the twist. Fear can actually be helpful. It sharpens your focus and heightens your awareness, making you more alert and prepared. Instead of treating fear as a barrier, what if you saw it as a tool? Fear doesn't just strike during life-changing moments. It shows up in everyday situations too. Fear of public speaking, your palms sweat, your voice shakes, and your mind races with thoughts like, what if I forget my points? What if they think I'm incompetent? Fear of change. Whether it's moving to a new city, leaving a job, or ending a relationship, the unknown feels scarier than the discomfort of staying where you are. Fear of failure. How many times have you wanted to try something new, a blog, a business, or a hobby, but stopped because the thought of failing felt unbearable? These fears are universal, but they don't have to control you. Let's revisit that diving board. The water below represents your goals, dreams, and potential. Fear is the the voice keeping you on the edge, but here's the secret. The only way to grow is to dive in. The fear will never go away as long as I continue to grow. This isn't a problem, it's a promise. Every step outside your comfort zone invites fear, but it also invites opportunity. When fear shows up, it's not a stop sign, it's a green light. It's your body's way of saying, this matters. You're stepping into something meaningful. The answer isn't to wait for fear to disappear, it's to take action despite it. Here's how. Acknowledge it. Fear is normal. Accept that it's part of the process. Break it down. Don't focus on the whole challenge. Identify the smallest step you can take and commit to it. Reframe it. Instead of asking, what if I fail? Ask, what if I succeed? Think of one thing you've been avoiding because of fear. Write it down. Now break it into a small, manageable action you can take today. Fear magnifies the unknown, turning opportunities into obstacles. But if avoiding fear only makes it louder, how do you quiet it? The answer lies in action, because the longer you wait, the more control fear gains. So how do you take that first step? Fear thrives in the shadows of inaction, growing louder and heavier the longer you avoid it. It's like a balloon. You keep blowing air into it by procrastinating or hesitating, and soon it feels ready to burst. But here's the truth. You hold the pin. Even the smallest action can deflate fear, making it more manageable with every step you take. You've decided to go to the gym for the first time, but as you step through the doors, your heart starts racing. You think, what if everyone stares at me? What if I don't know how to use the equipment? What if I look ridiculous? You spend the first few minutes frozen, pretending to tie your shoes while scanning the room. But then, you try one machine and nobody even notices. You finish your workout feeling relieved and proud that you didn't let fear stop you. This is how fear works. The longer you wait, the more your mind fills the gap with worst-case scenarios. It's not the fear itself that paralyzes you, it's the space you give it to grow. Imagine you're at a crowded social event and you see someone you admire, maybe a potential mentor, a colleague, or even someone you'd like to be friends with. You think, I should go introduce myself, but as you take a step forward, doubt creeps in. What if they're not interested in talking to me? What if I say something awkward? What if they think I'm wasting their time? You linger on the edge of the room, rehearsing and re-rehearsing what you might say until the moment slips away. Later, you wonder, what was I so afraid of? Take Maria, a marketing professional with a fear of public speaking. Every time her boss asked her to present at meetings, she politely declined, thinking, I'll wait until I feel more confident. But as months went by, her fear only grew. Now, even casual discussions in small groups made her nervous. One day, she decided to approach it differently. She offered to share her thoughts during a team huddle, a smaller, less intimidating setting. The first time, her voice shook, but by the third meeting, she was speaking with more ease. Eventually, she led a full presentation to her department. Her fear hadn't disappeared, but taking action had shrunk its grip. Fear is like a labyrinth. It feels endless and confusing at first, but as you take one turn at a time, the path forward starts to reveal itself and you find your way out. Instead of focusing on the entire challenge, break it into tiny, manageable steps. Starting small not only weakens fear's control, but also builds momentum. One small success leads to another, creating a ripple effect of confidence and possibility. Here's how you can apply this to real-life scenarios. Fear of starting a project. Instead of planning the entire project at once, write down one idea or take one small action, like drafting an outline. Fear of confrontation. Write down what you want to say and rehearse it. Then, approach the person in a calm setting. Fear of failure. Start small. If you're nervous about launching a new business, test your idea on a smaller scale, like selling to a few friends or hosting a pop-up event. Taking action creates momentum, and momentum builds trust in yourself. Think of it as a snowball rolling down a hill. It starts small but grows bigger and stronger with every rotation. Even small victories, like completing a single task or having one honest conversation, reinforce the belief that you're capable. Pushing through fear is less frightening than living with the underlying fear that comes from a feeling of helplessness. This quote reminds us that staying stuck is far scarier than taking that first step. Remember Maria? After leading her department's presentation, she reflected on how far she'd come. What once seemed impossible now felt achievable, and while fear still lingered, it no longer controlled her decisions. Taking action weakens fear in the moment, but fear has a way of creeping back in. So, how do you keep it from regaining control? The answer lies in shifting your mindset, moving from seeing fear as an enemy to embracing it as a guide. Fear often convinces us that we're stuck. It tells us stories about our limitations. You can't succeed because of your past. You can't move forward because of your circumstances. This isn't your fault. It's just how things are. This is the victim mindset, where life feels like it's happening to you, not because of you. But here's the twist. That feeling of helplessness isn't the full truth. Imagine being stuck in a maze, blaming the walls for blocking your path. A creator mindset is like stepping back to see the whole layout, realizing that there's always a way forward. You just need to make a move. When you focus on blame, whether it's your past, circumstances, or even believe in other people, you hand over your power. It's easy to fall into patterns like, I can't succeed because I didn't have the right opportunities. I'll never be confident because I've always been shy. I'm stuck because no one is helping me. While these thoughts might feel justified, they leave you waiting for something external to change. The truth? The real change starts with you. Take Lisa, a 35-year-old graphic designer who dreamed of freelancing full-time. For years, she blamed her lack of progress on external factors. Clients aren't giving me a chance. The industry is oversaturated. I can't compete. She felt powerless, stuck in a job she didn't love. One day, after months of frustration, Lisa decided to stop waiting for a break and start taking control. She updated her portfolio, began reaching out to potential clients herself, and used her evenings to build her skills. The first few months were tough. Rejections outnumbered successes, but she gained momentum. Within a year, she was freelancing full-time. Lisa didn't change her circumstances overnight. She changed her mindset. Instead of waiting for others to fix her situation, she took responsibility for her actions and choices. This is how you shift to a creator mindset. Recognize your role. Even in challenging situations, there's always something you can control, your response. Think about it. When something doesn't go your way, do you catch yourself thinking, I failed because the situation was unfair? That's the victim mindset creeping in. Now let's flip it. What if instead you told yourself, I didn't succeed this time, but I can learn from it and try again? See the difference? It's all about the words you choose. They shape how you see the world and your ability to respond. Instead of saying, I can't do this, try, I choose to give it a shot. That small shift changes everything. Focus on solutions. A victim mindset fixates on problems. A creator mindset looks for actions. Ask yourself, what's one thing I can do today to move closer to my goal? Even small steps count. Taking responsibility means never blaming anyone else for anything you are being, doing, having, or feeling. This doesn't mean ignoring challenges or pretending everything is fine. It means reclaiming your power by owning your actions and decisions. Responsibility isn't about self-blame. It's about self-empowerment. When you embrace a creator mindset, you stop waiting for ideal circumstances or external validation. Instead, you take charge of your progress one step at a time. Think of responsibility as a key. It doesn't change the lock, but it gives you the power to open the door. Let's look at how you can shift to a creator mindset in real-life situations. Are you feeling stuck in your job, thinking, there are no opportunities for growth here? That's the victim mindset talking. Now, let's reframe it. What if instead you said, I'll start learning new skills or networking to open up new doors? Suddenly, you're in control, taking steps toward growth rather than waiting for it to come to you. Have you ever thought, I can't start this project because I might fail? That fear of failure can feel paralyzing. But what if you approached it differently? Try saying, failure is part of the process. I'll start small and adjust as I go. By focusing on progress instead of perfection, you turn fear into a learning opportunity. In tough relationships, it's easy to think, this isn't working because they won't change. But what if you shifted the focus to what you can control? Ask yourself, how can I improve how I communicate and express my needs? Taking responsibility for your part of the equation can create space for growth and understanding. Fear changes shape as you grow. What once felt impossible becomes manageable, but new challenges bring new doubts. The key isn't just to act, it's to shift how you think about fear. And that begins with your mindset. The way you speak to yourself is like the background music of your life. It can either motivate you to move forward or make every step feel heavier. Negative self-talk is like a constant nagging critic, amplifying your fears and doubts. It's that inner voice that whispers, you're not good enough, or why even try if you'll fail? But here's the good news. That voice isn't permanent. You have the power to rewrite the script. Reframing negative self-talk isn't about ignoring challenges or sugarcoating reality. It's about shifting your perspective to see obstacles as opportunities and yourself as capable of facing them. Imagine being at the base of a mountain, staring up at the peak. Negative self-talk is like adding extra weight to your backpack before you even begin to climb. It convinces you the journey is impossible before you've taken a single step. When you tell yourself things like, I'll never get this right, or I'm just not smart enough, you're not just doubting your ability, you're shaping your reality. Your thoughts guide your actions, and if you believe you're going to fail, you're less likely to give your full effort or even try at all. Over time, this pattern reinforces itself, making the mountain feel steeper and your confidence weaker. Olivia had always wanted to start her own business, but every time she thought about taking the leap, her inner critic took over. You don't have enough experience. What if no one supports you? What if you fail and lose everything? These thoughts paralyzed her for years. One day, during a conversation with a mentor, Olivia was asked a simple question. What if you succeed? That question planted a seed. She decided to test her fears instead of letting them control her. Instead of saying, I'm not experienced enough, she told herself, I'll start small and learn as I go. She launched her business part-time, focusing on one small goal at a time. Olivia's success didn't happen overnight, but her mindset shifted. Reframing her inner dialogue gave her the courage to take action, and each small step reinforced her belief in herself. Negative self-talk is like a magnifying glass for fear. It exaggerates what could go wrong and blinds you to what could go right. Reframing your thoughts is like flipping that magnifying glass around. It shrinks the fear and brings clarity to the possibilities. Think of affirmations as a reset button for your mind. They don't erase challenges, but they help you approach them with resilience and confidence. Instead of spiraling into, what if I fail, you can shift to, what can I learn from this? Let's break down how you can reframe your self-talk step by step. Start by noticing those negative thoughts that pop up when you're scared or doubting yourself. Maybe it's, I'll never get this right, or what's the point of trying? Write them down. When you see them on paper, it becomes easier to recognize them for what they are, just assumptions, not facts. Next, ask yourself, is this 100% true? Most of the time you'll realize it's just fear talking, not reality. Be honest with yourself. How often have you let a thought like, I'm not good enough, stop you, only to later prove yourself wrong? Let's take that thought and turn it into something more realistic and uplifting. Say you're thinking, I'll never be able to do this. Instead, try telling yourself, I'm capable of learning and improving, and I'll take it one step at a time. See the difference? Affirmations aren't about pretending everything's perfect. They're about reminding yourself of your potential and focusing on growth. This isn't a one-and-done kind of thing. Reframing your self-talk takes practice. Make it part of your routine. Maybe you repeat your affirmations in the morning or write them down when self-doubt creeps in. The more you practice, the more natural it will feel. Reframing negative self-talk doesn't just shift how you feel, it transforms how you act. When you believe you can handle whatever comes your way, you're more willing to take risks, face challenges, and grow. Think of negative self-talk like a smudge on your glasses. It clouds your vision, making everything around you seem blurry and harder than it really is. Reframing your thoughts is like cleaning those lenses. It doesn't change what's in front of you, but it lets you see things more clearly, so you can navigate with confidence. Now that you've learned to rewrite the stories you tell yourself, you're ready to take the next step, building the confidence to act on them. Let's explore how action can solidify this new mindset and turn self-doubt into self-trust. Confidence isn't some magical trait you're born with, nor does it suddenly appear when the stars align and the timing feels just right. It's built brick by brick through consistent action, small steps taken despite fear, self-doubt, or uncertainty. Waiting for the perfect moment only delays your progress. Real confidence grows when you trust yourself to handle challenges, no matter the outcome. Perfectionism is like a thick fog, clouding your path and convincing you that you can't move forward until every detail is perfect. It whispers lies like, I need more time to prepare. I'll act when I feel ready. What if I fail? People will judge me. Here's the twist. That perfect moment you're waiting for? It doesn't exist. Waiting doesn't erase fear, it amplifies it. Meanwhile, the people who seem confident aren't fearless. They simply took action, stumbled, learned, and kept going. Alex, a 27-year-old engineer, always dreamed of presenting his ideas at work but held back, thinking, I'm not good enough yet. What if I mess up? For months, he stayed in the background, watching others get the recognition he craved. One day, his manager encouraged him to speak up during a team meeting. His first attempt was shaky, his voice trembled, and he forgot half of what he wanted to say. But something surprising happened. His team appreciated his input and encouraged him to share more often. That small step became the foundation of Alex's confidence. Each time he presented, he improved a little more, until one day, he delivered a pitch that secured a major client for his company. Alex realized that confidence didn't come from waiting until he felt ready. It came from taking action despite his fear. Think of confidence as a muscle. It doesn't grow from sitting on the sidelines waiting for strength to magically appear. Every small action is like a rep at the gym. Each one adds up, making you stronger and more capable over time. Even the smallest steps send a powerful message to your brain. I can handle this. And over time, those small victories stack up, reinforcing your belief in your ability to face challenges, adapt, and keep moving forward. Taking small steps transforms fear into momentum. Imagine climbing a steep staircase. From the bottom, it looks overwhelming, but as you focus on taking one step at a time, the top gets closer. Here's how you can start building confidence step by step. You don't need to take a giant leap to build confidence. Begin with something manageable. For example, if networking feels intimidating, don't aim for a big event right away. Instead, introduce yourself to one new person or strike up a casual conversation. Small wins build momentum. Stop aiming for perfection. It's not necessary. Celebrate the small wins and improvements along the way. Let's say you're learning a new skill. Instead of trying to master it overnight, aim to get just 1% better each day. That small progress adds up faster than you think. Here's the truth. Confidence isn't about never failing. It's about knowing you can recover when things don't go as planned. If a project doesn't work out, take a moment to reflect. Ask yourself, what can I learn from this? Then use that insight to make your next attempt even better. Fear thrives on inaction. The longer you wait, the louder it gets. But here's the good news. Fear loses its grip when you take even the smallest step. Instead of focusing on what if I fail, shift your mindset to what can I do next? Confidence grows with every action you take, no matter how small. The knowledge that you can handle whatever comes your way is the key to letting go of fear. This isn't about having all the answers. It's about trusting yourself to adapt and move forward no matter the outcome. Action is the antidote to fear. The more you take action, the more evidence you gather that you're capable. Each time you push through fear and uncertainty, you're building a foundation of trust in yourself, a foundation that isn't easily shaken by external circumstances. Every step you take strengthens your trust in yourself, making fear smaller and your courage bigger. Think of confidence as a cycle. Action leads to progress, which builds trust, which fuels more action. It's not a one-time achievement. It's an ongoing process of growth and resilience. Now that you understand the power of action, let's explore how to sustain this momentum by embracing fear as a natural part of growth and turning it into fuel for your journey. Fear is not your enemy. It's a signal that you're stepping into new territory and challenging yourself. Instead of letting it hold you back, see it as an invitation to grow. Throughout this journey, we've uncovered how to overcome fear by taking action, reframing your mindset, and building confidence one step at a time. We've learned that fear doesn't vanish with success. It evolves. But by shifting from a victim mindset to a creator mindset and replacing negative self-talk with empowering affirmations, you take back control. The key isn't to avoid failure, but to trust yourself to handle whatever comes your way. When you embrace fear as a companion instead of a roadblock, you open the door to resilience, growth, and possibility. The journey begins with one small action. Write it down, commit to it, take the step, and watch how your confidence begins to grow. You don't need to eliminate fear, you just need to feel the fear and do it anyway. So, what's your first step?